Welcome. In this video, I'm going to demonstrate how to sketch z equals sine of y in a three-dimensional plane. And I'm going to start again by sketching this in the two-dimensional plane, that is in the YZ plane, sticking to the colors we see on GeoGebra on the three-dimensional axes, where y is in green and z is in blue. And now positive z is here, negative z is here. Again, this isn't something you would do in a class mark the positive and negative axes in a two-dimensional plane, but when we go from 2D to 3D, it'll be really helpful to orient yourself. So on the two-dimensional plane, when our inputs are y values into the sine function, our outputs are going to look like this curve right here. Oh, excuse me, that's cosine. There we are. It's going to look like this curve right here. All right, so there it is. Here's pi over 2, here's pi, negative pi, and you get the idea. So there is our sine curve in two dimensions in the YZ plane. Okay, so now let's translate that to the XYZ coordinate system. So x always comes out at us at an angle with positive x-axis here, negative here. The y-axis is in this direction with positive y and negative y here. And then, of course, we have the positive z-axis here and negative z here. And I'm just going to shift x a little bit because I think I made this a little lopsided. There we are. Okay, so looking here on our two-dimensional plane in this upper right quadrant here, which would be equivalent to quadrant 1 in the xy plane, y is positive, z is positive, and that's where we have sine kind of coming out like this, positive, and then going down in the next quadrant. So that's what I'm going to start with. I'm going to start by sketching this sine curve. And now with the angle that I tend to use with y being horizontal and z being vertical, I can sketch it almost identically here. The only difference is now I'm going to have these sheets, in essence, going on forever parallel to the x-axis. And let me... All right, so here is our sine curve, and I'm adding a little shading just to make it clear where the upper part of this sheet is. So now that we've drawn this by hand, let's go ahead and look at this with technology. Here again is GeoGebra with the three-dimensional axes labeled X, Y, Z using 3 color-coded points with captions. I've shown you how to do that on a previous video, so I'm not going to go over that now. And on my input, I'm going to type in Z equals sine of Y. And there it is. And if I shift this around, I can get the three-dimensional view like I tend to draw it on my paper, with Y being nearly horizontal and Z being vertical and X kind of coming out at us. And then in the YZ plane, you can see what we expected, which is just a typical sine curve. I hope you found this video helpful.